Everyone, my name is Sangjune Lee, and today I'm going to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, through the lens of one of my favorite YouTubers, Takashi from Japan. I believe that his videos don't just entertain us, they help us learn more about Japanese society, especially when it comes to how Japan is changing, and sometimes struggling, in becoming a more diverse and inclusive country. I think this topic is really meaningful to all of us, especially those of us living in Canada, which is already a multicultural country. Watching Takashi's videos gives us a chance to reflect on both the similarities and differences between our two cultures. The first Japanese word I want to share is taisei, pronounced as taisei. It means diversity, and this word is directly connected to the content of Takashi's channel. As you can see from the screenshot on this slide, many of the video titles are related to controversial social or cultural topics. Things like being biracial in Japan, being Muslim in Japan, what it's like to live as a foreigner, or even topics like dreadlocks and tattoos. What makes his videos special is that instead of just sharing his own opinion, he goes out into the streets and interviews real people, strangers, to find out what everyday Japanese people really think. And through these conversations, we get a more honest picture of how Japanese society views difference and how people are trying to understand things they might not be familiar with. It's not always perfect, but it's real, and that's what makes it powerful. The next word is kyosei. This word means coexistence, living together in harmony with others who are different from us. In my opinion, this is one of the most important values when we talk about DEI. Takashi's content often reflects this idea by interviewing people who might not fit the typical image of Japanese citizens, such as foreigners living in Japan, or Japanese people who converted to Islam, or people who speak Japanese but grew up overseas. These people often face challenges. They may be judged by how they look, how they speak, or because of their religion or background. But by sharing their stories, Takashi gives them a platform, a chance to be heard and understood. This helps promote empathy, not just among Japanese viewers, but also for people like us watching from around the world. Another word I want to introduce is Nikkei. This word refers to Japanese people who live abroad, or those who were born and raised in other countries but have Japanese ancestry. In one of Takashi's recent videos, he interviewed Japanese Americans, people who may look Japanese but were raised in places like the United States. He asked them what it's like to visit Japan and whether they feel like they truly belong. This really resonated with me. I'm originally from Korea, and sometimes I think about what it would be like if I went back and lived there again. Would people see me as Korean? Would I feel like I belong? These identity questions are complex, and Takashi handles them with respect and curiosity. He doesn't pretend to have all the answers, but he shows that these stories are worth exploring. For me, that's a big part of inclusion, making space for people whose identities don't fit perfectly into one category. Overall, what I really appreciate about Takashi is that he's not afraid to explore tough or uncomfortable topics. He asks honest questions and allows people to speak for themselves. Watching his content makes me think more deeply about issues like racism, identity, and cultural understanding. And even though his videos are about Japan, the lessons apply to all of us. Here in Canada, we talk about inclusion, but it's something we have to practice, not just talk about. Takashi's videos help us understand that even in a country as traditionally homogeneous as Japan, people are working to be more open minded, more accepting, and more empathetic. So, in conclusion, Takashi's channel reflects all three elements of the DEI pillar: diversity, equity, and inclusion. He gives a voice to people from many different backgrounds. He promotes fairness by letting people share their lived experience, and he encourages viewers to think more deeply and respectfully about those who are different from them. As students learning about Japanese culture, or even as future visitors to Japan, I think this kind of content is incredibly valuable. We don't just learn about Japan through a tourist point of view, we learn through the stories of people. And that's the most meaningful way to understand any culture. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And to finish, I'd like to say, arigatou gozaimasu.